Dude, did I ever tell you about the time I was walking through Mountain View and this guy was walking opposite me and I had to really sneeze? Like, really bad. I was feeling it, but my arms
were you like
full.
the only ones in the hallway?
No, it was a busy hallway, but I could see him. He was just coming right by me.
Yeah.
Like, he was going to brush my shoulder if I didn't move like an inch. So, both my arms are full. Like, I've got my binder in one arm and then, like, this project in the other.
Yeah.
I'm just walking along and I'm like, oh, God, I have to sneeze. Oh, God. But there's, like, nowhere to move to because there's, like, a girl on this side of me and nobody really on this side. But
and your arms are full. You can't sneeze on your sleeve.
I can't really, like, do that.
Well, you could go like this.
Whatever.
Well, you could do... Well, I guess not.
You
get it all over.
Yeah. So I was just like, this poor fucker. So right as he's coming, just slow motion, just...
on his face. No, you did not.
Yes, it did.
No, you did not.
It was a bad sneeze.
What did he do?
Just, like, in slow motion, it felt like this, just...
Did he say anything to you?
But, like, in real life, it was probably just more like...
No, that's... In real life, it's worse. What did he do?
All I heard as he was going the other way was just... Oh, jeez Louise!
He did not say jeez Louise. You sneezed on the most LDS guy in school.
I walked into my next class like crying. I was laughing so hard. And they're like, what's wrong? And I was just like, I had already stopped laughing by then, but I still had like tears in my eyes.
How did you explain it? Like, I just sneezed on a guy.
I just sneezed a Mormon out.
Sneezed on a Mormon. Oh, jeez Louise.
Isn't it great?
Someone like vomits on him. Oh, Jiminy Cricket.
Welcome to another episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Bloody. I'm Derek Brown.
I am Cody Bowden.
At least that's what our parents told us. And...
Actually, my mom calls me my brother's name all the time.
Oh, jeez.
So as far as I know, I'm Cameron and Cody. Ladies.
You want his face off.
I want to take his face off. No, but as you probably just heard, Derek told a really funny story about him sneezing on someone. And that got me thinking, what if you just kind of did that on purpose to, like, fuck with people, you know? Like, as a prank? Like, imagine there was no one in that hallway, but this other guy was walking the other way. Because that happens in school a lot. You, like, go to the bathroom, someone else is going to the bathroom, right? Different class. Mm-hmm. Just walk up right as soon as you get next to him, just sneeze on him. He'd be like, the fuck, bro? Or in this case, he might go, oh, geez Louise.
Oh, Jiminy Crickets. Oh, hamburgers.
Yes.
This last Thursday, we watched Deathdream. Let's talk about that.
No, let's talk about some other stuff first, because this movie has not much to talk about, in my opinion.
Oh,
you know?
Man.
Despite it being a 1971 classic.
74.
74?
Yeah.
Okay. 1974.
Doesn't change its quality, really.
No, not really. The 3 years doesn't give it much... the CGI is so much better. Dude, think about, like, the CGI jump we had growing up. Like, freaking from 2001 to, like, 2004 is insane.
Just watch Spider-Man compared to Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, no.
For the CGI.
Oh, no, actually, you know what would be a better example? 1996 to 2000.
1996 to 2000?
Yeah, Mario Kart to Super Mario Sunshine. That is literally the jump as far as relevant games go. Mm-hmm. No, yeah, because, like, I was talking to Trevor, I was like, you know, about Super Mario Sunshine, just because that game came up, because we were playing, like, Mario Party on Henry's, like, old N64, right? And he's like, that game came out, like, what, when we were in, like, 4th grade? And I was like, no, man, that's 2000. And he's like, no way. And I was like, yeah, it's freaking 2000. One more year, and we would have had a Space Oddity. Or Space Odyssey, whatever. No, David Bowie, let's go. David Bowie's Space Oddity. We had a store greeter at our store named Tom. Did I ever tell you about Tom?
No.
You probably have seen Tom. He was like a redhead ginger guy, but he had like cerebral palsy, so he would just yell and like twitch. Mentally he's totally fine, but like physically he has like twitches, and he weirdly enough he sounds like the stereotypical like retard you know?
In movies.
Yeah. Or like when people are making fun of him mentally disabled people, which is a shame because like of all the voices to have as a physically disabled person, he has the mentally disabled voice. Mm-hmm. So people think he's just full on retard, you know, but he's not. He's a great guy, you know. He's all there up here. But he would sing sometimes. And if you could try imagining him singing, it's insane. It sucks so bad. That's all I gotta say.
He could probably sing Bob Dylan just fine though.
It's not a slap in the face. How dare you. Yeah, it was just weird because he was always way too loud, and he would sing things like, "Do you really want to hurt me?" and it kind of just made it seem like when he would like walk around the front door, like almost like we're like abusing him. Because customers would walk by and be like, "Why is that retarded man singing about pain?"
Oh no.
Do you really want to make me cry? No, but I always thought that was funny. Speaking of things I find funny, how's your sex life? No, just kidding. We'll edit that out. That's too mean. But I would like to take this moment to address some knowledge that I got about our show. See, it seems that we have a pretty consistent fan base.
Oh, man.
You know?
What?
It's not just my brother.
And our moms.
Yeah, and it's just not just our moms.
It's more than 3 people, yay.
Actually, I have 3 moms.
Whoa.
So, what I found out was... I work with this woman named Diana at my store. And did you just crack your knuckles on your forehead?
Yes, I did.
I want to try that. Oh, I can't do it.
Well, it's just like the usual, like that. I just wanted to...
mix things up a bit. So I work with this woman named Diana in my store, and her daughter actually, I know 2 of her daughters. She has 3 daughters. I know her daughter Allie, who's her oldest, because she was in the same grade as me, went to the same school, and her second oldest, Kaylee, also went to my school. Year younger than me, probably a bit more, like a year and a half maybe. But yeah, they both went to Mountain View.
They were probably there right before I graduated.
Yeah, but Kaylee actually listens to this podcast frequently. But
check my window.
It's funny how I found out, actually, because I was talking about our podcast to Diana, because I tell her, like, everything, you know, because we have so much time in the day. I just talk to her, like, what I'm doing with my life and stuff, and how school's going, whatever. And she's like, and then I mentioned my podcast, you know, I was like, oh, then after work, I'm going to go over to see Derek, you know.
Go visit him on his ant building.
His ant building?
I build ants.
You're going to have to explain that to me later.
I build ants.
But, and then she's like, oh, yeah, your podcast. Kaylee's a big fan. I was like, what does that mean? And she's like, and then literally, this is what Diana told me that Kaylee said. She said, I listen to all the episodes. I'm like their number 1 fan.
Oh my gosh.
So, hey, Kaylee, if you want to be our number 1 fan, congratulations, you're our number 1 fan.
Our designated number 1 fan.
Out of the 2 people that will listen to this show, we're picking you as the number 1 fan.
So sorry, Cameron.
Exactly. That's like who's listening right now. We don't even need to like...
That's really funny. I thought you were going to say something like you heard her walk by and just like shout one of our phrases from the show, like whether you like it or not.
No, I don't really talk to her like at all. You know, she'll come into the store to visit her mom sometimes, and I'll be like walking around, you know, usually doing stuff. What I'm saying is, like, you know, if I went to see my mother at work, I probably wouldn't talk to any of her coworkers. But anyway, I guess we have a super fan.
Yay.
Buy all of our merchandise that we're not selling. We should just sell like 1 t-shirt.
We only made 1 t-shirt. If it sells, we'll make 2.
Is it a women's cut? I'm sorry, Kaylee. No, it's an adult extra large hoodie.
If you're, it didn't come out.
So let's talk about this movie because
Deathdream.
Deathdream. I feel like I'm dreaming
of death. Bada-doom, bada-bing. We could probably make a shirt out of the whether you like it or not.
Dude, yeah, that'd be hilarious. The shirt is practically flying off the shelves.
Because there is no shelf.
I like when people like take plurals and make them singulars, you know? I have many black friend. You know? But anyway, so we watched Deathdream for Resurrection Month.
Yay.
And next week will be, sadly, the end to Resurrection Month. But it's the release of a new movie. We're going to go see The Lazarus Effect live in theaters.
It's only the 2nd theatrically released horror film of the year so far.
But think about this month, though. This month is perfect. Sunday was, it was a Sunday that was February 1st. And the ending of this month ends on a Saturday.
Yes.
It is literally the first time in a long time that I've seen a month that perfectly fills in the calendar. There's no, like, lead-ins and lead-outs, you know? It's just, bam, 1 page. Done.
It's a paragraph.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's the perfect... it's an even month. It's not perfect.
Are you going to cry?
A little bit. It's also Black History Month.
Well, they deserve the neatly organized month.
Oh my god. They deserve... Yeah, they do. They do. Why is it the shortest month, though?
I don't know.
That's just the man trying to keep him down.
I should ask Marlon that.
Oh, yeah,
when I
that'd be
go
hilarious.
in tomorrow. Just ask him.
Why is
Marlon,
Black History Month the shortest month?
why do you guys get the shortest month of the year? And he'll probably just be like, pull this cable, Derek. Deathdream.
Where do we start with this movie?
I'll tell you how I first heard about it.
Yeah.
So I look it up, and it's a Canadian horror film.
This was Canadian?
Yes, it is.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Canadian film talking about the Vietnam War.
Wow.
And it's only once I got the DVD did I find out that Bob Clark also did the original Black Christmas.
Which I'm sure nobody's familiar with besides you, Derek, I said.
And some people's moms, I'm sure. And as I told you while we were watching the film, he unfortunately did the Baby Geniuses movies.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And the second one was his last film ever, so he really petered out on his legacy.
But
except for around Christmas, when you get Black Christmas and A Christmas Story. So I guess it all works out, kind of. Based on that, I wanted to rent it, and nobody has it around here for rent. So I said, fuck, where can I get one? And so I ordered it off of eBay.
that's pretty insane. So, you actually have a part of your DVD collection that is essentially a rare commodity. You can't rent it from Blockbuster because Blockbuster doesn't exist. No, that's not what I meant.
Rest in peace, IP.
Rip in peace. And I can kind of see why they didn't keep it on the shelves.
Yeah.
Because it's old as fuck. It's kind of boring.
Yeah. It's one of those ones that really doesn't age well for the majority of people.
But nonetheless, I'm glad I watched it, actually. There was a lot of scenes. There's just a few scenes that were, cool. I kind of want to clip them out.
Like the family laughing in the beginning of the movie.
Oh, yeah. No, dude. Oh, great. So let's talk about those. So it starts out with... Oh, no. You mentioned this was one of the first films to tackle the Vietnam War. So
as the blurb on the back of the DVD tells me.
So, well, yeah, it's basically true. But... It starts out with the Vietnam War scene.
Yeah, it shows these two soldiers, Darren and Andy.
Yes.
Oh, Andy.
Which Andy is going to be our main character in this.
Yes, he is. They're getting shot up over in Vietnam, as we were prone to be back then.
as expected to be.
Fiery explosions ensue. It's the dark of night, the dead of night, which is another title this movie was released under. It was released under a bunch of titles. My favorite one is The Night Andy Came Home.
That is a pretty good title. I like Nightwalk. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Nightwalk sounds like a cool superhero.
Too.
I would be Nightwalk if I
am the Nightwalk.
No, not the Nightwalk. Just Nightwalk. You don't even say I am. You just go Nightwalk.
You won't see me in the day.
You just have autism. Sir, could you please move? Nightwalk.
So, during this Vietnam skirmish, Darren gets killed, and then you see Andy get shot. You don't see him die, though. It's kind of like, did he die? Did he not?
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. You see him fall down, though, for sure.
Yeah, he certainly wibble-wobbled and fell down. Then we come back to America, and anyway, Andy's family is at home having dinner, and the mother is just sitting there going, when Andy comes home, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do all this. The dad's visibly just like, I want a divorce.
Yeah. He's like, this crazy broad.
And the daughter's just like, oh, mother.
She's so unimportant, the daughter. She's like the most unimportant.
Until the end.
Yeah, really. Which she even doesn't even become a character at the end. Nope. She's still just there. She's a segue for Andy to do nefarious things.
Yes.
So, sisters being cardboard cutout. This is a cookie cutter family except for the relationship between the mother and father figure.
Yeah. And they're just sitting at home. Mother's going on about whatever. And then they get a knock at the door. And it's this officer postman. He never rings twice.
Well, it's it's just a mailman. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry.
It's the guy
not the mailman.
It's the guy who they send to deliver bad news to families.
It's basically just like the nearest commanding officer to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember what the stars and stripes he had on. I think he was just like a first sergeant. It looked like it.
And so he shows up with this envelope, and he gives it to the father, and he's just like, I'm sorry.
And then that's when they hear about Andy's supposed death.
Yes. So, shortly after that, we see the family just breaking down crying, mostly the mother.
They're all sad.
Because Andy's a mama's boy. Or at least the mother really loves him.
It's assumed that he is a mama's boy.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because he doesn't really talk to... I mean, his dad doesn't really try to talk to him too much when he inevitably does come back.
Yes.
But let's get to that.
We then cut to a truck driver picking up a hitchhiker.
Yeah.
Which is all from the point of view of the hitchhiker, which was pretty cool. And after the truck driver stops for some coffee, gets back in the truck, whatever, we see him get dropped off, and he walks up to this house, and the family starts waking up one by one, and they come downstairs because they hear some noise, like the dog barking.
Yeah.
And they flick on the light. Andy's home.
He's just standing in the kitchen. Like
not
a creep.
Yeah. He's not in the kitchen with Dinah or anything. God.
But let's talk about the truck driver, because there was a scene where they introduced truck driver. These are all totally unimportant characters, you know. But truck driver's
they're
driving
unique in their own ways.
Oh yeah,
somehow.
But he stops at this diner. This is essential for like the police investigation later on in this film. But the truck driver, before he takes this hitchhiker to where he needs to go, he stops at a diner first, right? And he's like, "Can I get 2 coffees, one for me and one for this hitchhiker I picked up?" And then the waitress goes, "Oh, a hitchhiker, who is it?" And he goes, "It's a soldier." And then one guy, it's just like this whacked out like old dude. It's just like
Stuttering Steven.
No, not the stuttering guy. The other guy who's just like, "Is he one of us? Is he like an American soldier?" And then like he's like, "Yeah, of course he's an American soldier. What do you think he was? Viet Cong?" And then he's just like, "Good. I thought we were being invaded." Do you remember?
That was really funny.
Yeah. Oh, but the cook in this diner is...
Yeah, he's like, "Can we get some..." Or the waitress is like, "Can we get some burgers and fries or whatever?" But how many burgers?
He has the most unconvincing stutter.
It's so hilarious.
It's so dumb, yeah. But...
Turned to you even, and I was just like, "Worst stutter ever."
Exactly. But it's pretty clear in this scene that the truck driver is friends with the people in the diner, blah, blah, blah. And he's basically telling everyone in the diner that he's got this mysterious hitchhiker and where he's going and stuff. So, and he says, "I'll be back, too." He says, I'll come back.
Yeah, after I drop off Mr. Soldier here.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah.
Drops him off. Again, we see Andy home, and they sit him down. They're like, "Oh my God, we're so happy to see you, Andy." And Andy's just like, "Yes."
He's stone cold. He doesn't talk. He doesn't really move. He's just kind of staring off into space.
He's fucking shell-shocked.
Yeah, well, you would assume.
Yes.
So, in any reality, like...
If this wasn't a horror movie, you'd assume.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. So he is presumably...
Like, they're like, "We're going to have a party and everything." And he's just like, no, that's fine. And then he just kind of creepily smiles after a bit. And the whole family just starts engaging in their...
Yeah, they just start laughing because they're just so happy he's back, but he's being so creepy, and it's just weird. But yeah, they laugh for like the good minute,
And they really focus up on this laughing.
Yeah, they go ha 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 ha. It's just, oh my God, it's just so creepy.
It's almost as bad as Tommy Wiseau in The Room.
Exactly, but like somehow way worse.
Yeah,
probably because it's actually like, I don't know.
It's like taking all the Tommy Wiseau's laughing and putting it into one scene.
Yeah,
you can take that over the course of the bad film.
Exactly. So the next scene. Is this where the mailman comes over, or is this...
Yeah, the family's having like lunch out in the backyard, and the mailman comes over, and he's like, "Oh, hey, Andy. Nice to see that you're back." Yeah. Whatever. And he's just like, "Hi."
It's really creepy,
Oh, Andy. And he's like, "Well, how was things over there in Vietnam?" In Nam.
And then he mentions his friend who died alongside him, right?
Darren.
Yeah.
And then Andy just gets up and he's fucking mad.
Yeah.
He gets up and he just like angrily stares down at everyone like...
and just leaves.
They're like, "Fuck."
What's weird about Andy, to me, is not how he's acting, but he's so motionless and he's so emotionless and stiff. Yet... at the beginning of the scene, he's like sitting in like a polo and like khaki shorts in a lawn chair.
Yeah.
How did he get into the fucking lawn chair? Because he moves around like a fucking robot in all the other scenes. But in this one, it's hard for me to imagine him changing into a pink polo and like sitting down on a lawn chair.
Unless they changed him like a Ken doll and shit.
Yeah, like unless he didn't move and someone else changed him and someone put him in the seat. I just can't see something happening to this zombie-like man,
Come on, Andy, be casual.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I will be casual. You know, puts on khakis.
Casual mode activated.
Where are my slippers? But, yeah, you know, so he freaks out and he goes, geez, I didn't mean to, you know, whatever. And the mailman makes himself really comfortable during this scene, too. He just sits down and, like, starts eating egg salad.
Isn't there more mail for him to drop off?
Yeah.
That's what you had said.
Exactly.
You were like,
I was like, don't you have mail to deliver?
You're doing a terrible job, mister.
That's what I would have said if I was from the 70s.
That's why everybody got shit late. That's why we made email. We were fed up with people.
That's why we made FedEx, because we were fed up.
Oh.
That shit delivers on time. Anyway.
Only if you pay more.
So then it goes to a scene of the truck, right?
Yeah, the truck driver is found dead the next day.
It opens up with like a police, you know, like a squad car just kind of like calling in more units. And then it shows the truck driver sitting in his truck with his neck slit open.
And when they take him back to the morgue to be investigated, they also find he has a needle puncture in his right arm.
Yeah.
I had to make sure that was it.
Yeah. Which is really interesting, right?
Yeah, it's like, who the fuck does that to a person after they slit their throat? You know, who needs to inject somebody with heroin? No heroin in this movie. Come on, guys, it's the 70s, but it's not that kind of movie. Ain't no Easy Riders in this shit.
This was 5 years after. I almost said 9/11.
Oh my god!
5 years after a Woodstock. You know,
never forget.
We just got all that drugs out of our system as a country. We landed on the moon, literally.
Yes, we did.
1969. I find it funny that we like landed on the moon in reality and also like in people's minds at Woodstock. Dude, we're on the fucking moon right now. No, seriously, dude, we're on the fucking moon right now.
Holy shit.
Totally different months.
The future is now.
But it was a crazy... You know that quote.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
No. Well, kind of. You remember that quote, though, that everyone always uses where it's like, if you remember Woodstock, then you weren't there.
Oh, yeah. If you remember the 60s, you weren't there.
Yeah, exactly. It's so stupid. Anyway.
I remember them only from history.
What if you, like, talk to your grandparents, or even parents, really? That's not that long ago. And then they're just like, wow, it's just a blur. 50s.
Man, 10 years of my life just...
Yeah, that'd be crazy. They just, like, snapped into it and they're just, like, 30. What the fuck?
Wow, I gotta pay taxes.
What the fuck? Like 10-year-olds at the time are just like, I'm going to college.
So after they have that crazy, that scene of death, we have the neighbor kids show up to come see Andy.
Oh, yeah. The dad says, yeah, this will be a nice surprise for Andy. We'll bring all the neighbor kids that he used to play with around the block. And
which is fucking weird, because Andy has to be at least, like...
20.
At least, you know?
At least 18.
Because he's been out of high school for a few years.
Well, they were recruiting people at, like, 18 for the draft. At the very least. So he's at least 19.
Yeah.
At least.
He's been out of high school at least a year. And, so, the oldest kid doesn't look any older than, like, 14.
Yeah, they're all like, really
So
young.
he was, like, the old man of the group. He was the kid that, like, had to go and get cigarettes and shit.
Yeah.
For everybody.
So all these kids run up and go, hey, Andy, what's up? And they're all talking at the same time, being really annoying. One of them's just like, hey, Andy, last time you saw me, I grew 2 inches. Andy, I'm 2 inches taller now.
Hey, are they teaching you karate over there, Andy? I know karate. I'm pretty kick-ass at it.
Wait, what did that one kid say about the karate? It was really funny. He's like, I'm learning it.
Yeah.
He's like, do you know how to do karate, Andy? I'm learning it. He's just so cocky. But
fucking blonde fucker.
Yeah, but all this is stressing Andy out, you know?
And the dog starts barking at him.
Yeah, because so everyone's being loud. The dog is even barking.
So then he like stands up and hits Karate Kid.
Yeah, he pushes him like on the fucking ground.
He's like,
and then he's like, "Don't cry." Well, he doesn't say that, but Andy just
he looks at him like,
yeah, Andy's just super pissed.
Don't cry, dry your eye.
Dog is still barking, and this is my favorite scene. I'm just gonna say it right now. Andy just snaps his neck over to the dog, stares at him with the vicious, angry Hulk look that he gave the kids.
Dude, it was great.
Grabs the dog by the neck, picks him up over his like shoulder,
and just wrangles him.
He just with one arm, just starts shaking this dog while holding it.
And
up
his
in the
face
air.
is just great.
And he's staring at the dog with like such anger. And then all the kids are like, no. All the kids are crying because he's fucking killing a dog right in front of them. And it goes on. And I thought the movie was going to pussy out and he was going to drop the dog, right? And no, he kills this dog.
No, this is when horror movies were hardcore, man.
Oh, dude, this was so...
They didn't give a shit.
And for some really weird reason, I was sitting on the very edge of the couch, and I was just like, do it,
pussy.
Do it. Which is sad, because I didn't want... It's not because I wanted the dog to die, but it was just so hardcore.
Yeah.
It was too metal.
And the dad comes out, his dad comes out, and he's just like, Andy, what the fuck are you doing?
And he drops the dog. The dog is this lump of dead fur.
Yeah. And the kids run off, and Andy goes inside.
Power walks away.
His dad follows him in, and he's just like, what the hell's the matter with you? And his mom's just like, calm down. He's just having it rough.
Yeah, and it's like, and then for some weird reason, the mother's just like, it's your reason he's stressed. You make him feel like he's not welcome. And he's just like, what the fuck? He just killed my dog. I'm going to the fucking bar.
Yeah, and then the mom takes Andy upstairs. And I love it because after like a minute of them being out of the room, the dad by himself for like a minute just goes, I want you out of my house.
Yeah, like no one's listening, but you know. But then he's like, I gotta...
Because he was probably afraid of getting choked himself.
Oh yeah, I mean, shit, dude. Just kill this dog.
Yeah. Like you said, he goes to the bar afterwards and gets drunk.
Because his dog is fucking dead.
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough.
I would do that.
Did you see that? Did you see that scene where he killed the dog?
Yes, dude.
It was awesome.
I own this movie. I've seen it.
I know. Just fucking... I just love that scene. It's so intense. It's so intense.
Gets my dick hard.
No, Derek. No. Doggone it, Derek.
I'm so franken sorry.
Franken better be.
He meets up, or this doctor comes in at the bar where the dad's drinking, and the dad, I think his name's Charlie.
I believe so. Yeah.
He tells the doctor, dude, I don't know what's wrong with Andy. And so the doctor says, well, let me take a look at him either later tonight or tomorrow, whatever it was. And so the doctor comes over and sees Andy, and most of the time when Andy's at home, he's just sitting in his rocking chair, being annoying. Because that's a loud rocking chair.
It's really weird. He's just sitting in a dark room, like, rocking back and forth.
Just
staring forward. Like some kind of... Like stereotypical ghost woman, you know?
You know, like the woman in black.
Yeah, you know. Stereotypes. We're stereotyping ghosts.
Yes, we are.
We need to change. I had a dream that every ghoul inspector in America could go to school together. They can spook people together.
Oh my gosh.
We need to end this stereotyping, Derek.
Yes, we do.
Anyway,
Time for a change. 2015. Come on.
Thanks, Obama. Anyway, so the doctor goes to see Andy, and he's just like, hey, Andy.
How you doing there?
Oh, Andy.
And Andy's just like, I'm fine, doctor.
He starts rocking again.
And so he's just like, well, I heard you came in on Wednesday. That's right. Well, we found a truck driver also dead on Wednesday. Did you come in with some friends, or did you get picked up? And then he stops rocking, and he's just like, goes back to rocking. He's just like, I got picked up. And he's just like, all right, that's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, Andy.
Oh, Andy.
And so he's just like, all right, well, it's nice talking to you, Andy. I'll have to have you come over and have a follow-up sometime. And he's just like, all right, doctor. All right.
And then he gives him a smile.
Yeah, I love his smile because it's just so creepy.
Fake. It's creepy.
Just.
Do you know who Jack Vale is from Jack's Films on YouTube?
No.
He looks like this guy.
Yeah.
I just realized that. I don't know.
Andrew Backus?
Andrew, yeah, I think it's Backus.
Where'd you put my DVD?
Yeah, no, his, Richard Backus.
Okay.
But John Marley is, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so, yeah. The doctor, like, looks at the dad and just like, well, your son's fucked.
Yeah.
No.
He takes him outside and he says, Charlie, I think Andy might be the one that
killed that truck driver.
Now, that's police business. I'll let them decide, but being a doctor, Trust me.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, yeah. He basically just. He doesn't even say that. He doesn't say that he thinks that. He says, the same night Andy got dropped off here, there was a truck driver not too far from here that was found dead. And he's like,
"You think Andy did it?
That's
for the police to decide."
Yeah, he's like, "I'm not saying." And then we joked about this. Like, he's just like, what if he like pulled out a phone and he's like, "I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that Andy might." Hello, is this the police? Yes, I'd like to report a murder.
Anyway, Charlie, not pointing fingers.
Yeah, not pointing fingers at your son or anything. Please get here.
And so
anyway, what's your address again?
He leaves, and a few minutes later, Andy leaves the house, takes the car.
Oh yeah.
And follows the doctor. And the doctor gets home. He's just kind of putting stuff away, and Andy comes in, scares the shit out of him. And that music that's playing during that scene is pretty great.
It is.
Because it's just like...
It sounds like someone's phone's going off.
It's like psycho violins on top of a cell phone ringtone.
It's like someone is like watching Insidious and they're like hitting play and pause over and over again. But anyway, so he sneaks up to the doctor in his office and he's like, "Oh, Jesus, Andy, you fucking scared me. What are you doing here in my office?"
"I'm here for my checkup, doctor."
Yeah.
And so he says, "I want you to check my pulse." And doctor checks him. No pulse. Check my heartbeat. No heartbeat.
Yeah.
And by this point, you see like weird bags.
Yeah, Andy looks
Andy's
like
eyes.
wrinkly and it's weird.
He looks like he's been doing the dope.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Ever since I got back, I haven't been tired. I don't need food, nor water, anything."
Yeah, I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
I don't feel nothing.
And so after the doctor checks for his non-existent heartbeat, he's like, "Oh, that really is strange," and looks elsewhere, and Andy fucking picks up this...
No, they fight for a little bit, remember?
Yeah, actually, he picks up this thing and fucking fights him.
The doctor throws the first punch, actually.
Oh, does he?
You don't remember that? They're
Dude,
in the
this
chair.
was days ago.
Well, and then he's like, "Oh, Jesus, Andy, that's crazy." And then Andy leans in and goes, "I died for you over in Vietnam, Now you owe me the same.
Yeah.
Right? Now you got to return the favor."
Line.
And then the doctor's like, "Oh shit, he's gonna kill me." And Doc just punches him in the face, and he's like, "I feel nothing." That's when he pushes the doctor into a corner, and then he grabs that syringe
and just stabs him over and over.
Yeah.
And then finally...
Which, by the way, how hard would it be to kill someone with a syringe? That sounds pretty damn hard.
Yeah. Especially because it doesn't make a big puncture wound.
Well, actually, it was one that you used to draw blood, though.
Yeah.
Either way, how horrifying. He must have stabbed him like... Because it cuts out from there.
It's just like Evil Dead, the remake.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. And the nail gun scene in that, too? Oh, jeez. How many... I hate that so much. It's so creepy. That movie's very cringy.
Yes,
we should have an Evil Dead month and review all of them. And then we get to see Army of Darkness, because that movie's awesome. Swallow this,
So,
yeah.
He kills the doctor, and then he takes this syringe that he just doctored the doctor with.
Yeah.
And he drains the doctor's blood and pumps it into himself. Yeah. And then the next day wakes up and he's just fine again.
Yeah, like it's almost like it's like the blood that like new fresh blood like keeps him looking normal. Otherwise,
it's like the mummy from last week.
Yes, exactly. Otherwise, he like turns into like a zombie basically. It's funny how he shoots up the blood too, because he literally shoots it up. He has a surgical tube on his arm.
This is the 70s.
Just like a junkie. Fucking hits himself up. He like leans back against the counter and he's like, "Oh yeah."
Oh.
It is so dumb.
Before we go too far, there is the scene that they do earlier in this film where he's taking a walk at night and he goes to the graveyard and defiles that tombstone, but we never see what he says on it.
I feel like this is after this, isn't it?
Might be.
So yeah, I mean, while Andy's out and about at night, he goes into
taking his night walk.
Yeah. Oh my! There we go. He goes to a graveyard, if not to be with his familiars. But yeah, he goes up and etches something onto a tombstone. Yeah, and we don't see what it is until the very end. But it's like, what is he doing there?
Me and this dead broad forever.
Yeah. He just he zooms out. He just carved the word butts into someone's tombstone.
Dick butt.
You son of a bitch.
So the next day, his sister and his mom are talking about like taking him out on a date with somebody, and it turns out it's it's an old flame of Andy's named Joanne.
Joanne.
And so after that, Andy comes home, and the sister's just like, hey, you want to go out tonight with me and Bob and somebody else? And Andy's just like, no. But then they're like, oh, but Andy, you need to be out. You haven't done much since you got home. Okay.
I love that. It's so great.
So, and they're like, oh, I'm so glad. The doctor's still a drunk fucker.
Yeah.
During all of this. So, after that, we see his sister. I will not remember the name until I watch this movie again.
Does not matter.
It's irrelevant. Let's call her Meg.
Okay. She is the Meg of this family anyway.
She and her boyfriend Bob are trying to talk to Joanne to go out on this date without telling her who it is. They just want it to be a surprise, and she's just like, no, you've put me on blind dates before, and this is just going to be a disaster. I know it.
And boy, is she right.
So, and she's like, just tell me. And they're like, it's Andy. And she goes, Andy?
Oh, Andy.
It's great, because you can tell just from the way she's reacting that...
You can tell by the pixels and having seen many Photoshops before.
She totally loves Andy.
Oh, yeah.
And for whatever reason, they broke up. Probably because he went to go...
fucking war.
Yeah.
Sorry, honey. I'm going to break up with you. But why? I'm going to fucking war.
Because I don't want you worrying about my dead ass.
Dude, I want that... If I died in the war, that would be my tombstone. Just be like, he went to fucking war.
He died for your country.
Never came back. Thanks, Obama. Dude, no, but that is so great. I have to leave. Why? I'm going to fucking war. You're going to fucking war? That's right, honey. I'm going to fucking war.
Right in the ass.
And so... to fucking war right fucking now.
She's all excited, and they show up to the house to pick up Andy, and at this point, he's deteriorating even worse than the day before. Yeah. He's got this hole on the back of his hand, and his eyes are going all baggy again.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah.
The crack game is ridiculous.
By the way, how did the father figure out about the other murders? Because remember before, like during this, he's talking to the police.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He finds out about the doctor, I think... Oh, fuck, I don't remember.
It's during the day, during this day. So while...
I think he went over there to talk to him about not going to the police.
Pretty much. So while Andy is discovering that he's becoming more and more deformed, his father, on the other hand, is really curious about the truck driver, that was murdered, So he goes over to the police to figure out more, doesn't he?
Uh-huh.
And then he finds out the doctor died.
And they're just like, what soldiers all came back the other night? And Charlie's just like, definitely not Andy.
Yeah.
And so he just leads them off the track like a red herring.
Yeah.
But
now the father knows that Andy killed the doctor and definitely the truck driver.
Oh, for sure.
Which is like horrifying. But he's still, like a good father, State Farm is there. He throws him off the track. Tries to throw the police for a loop.
Yeah. And so as he's coming back home, Andy goes on his date. He puts on these sunglasses and these gloves. Yeah, he's wearing a turtleneck and shit, so he looks totally European.
He has like the they're like Terminator sunglasses. Or no, the glasses from like They Live, that's what I said.
Yeah.
And he's got just like
put on the fucking glasses.
Put on the fucking glasses. But yeah, so he's I love how he walks down this. So his friends and date, sister and her boyfriend and his date, I guess.
Ladies and Bob.
Yeah, they're all standing at the bottom of the stairs, and Andy is on the top of the stairs with his mother, and then they're all like, Andy, and he starts slowly walking down the stairs with his mom holding on to him, like fucking like a girl going to prom.
Hell yeah.
Walking down the stairs.
There's something about Andy.
Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, and I was like, are you fucking with me right now? And then, what was it? And then he gets to the bottom, and they're just like, Andy, it's so good to see you. And he's like, yes, let's go. And just starts walking away. And they're like, oh, okay, shit, all right, fine.
Yeah, Joanne wants to give him a hug, and he's just like, bitch, please.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, talk to the gloves.
No. Talk to the zombie hand woman.
If the glove doesn't fit, Andy didn't commit.
If you liked it, you should have put a glove on it.
If I hit it.
They go to, what is it? Didn't they go to a
drive-in theater? Yes.
They go to a drive-in diner first.
Oh yeah, they go to a diner.
And then in the drive-through thing, like Sonic.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then they go to the drive-through movie.
But I love the drive-in dinner part.
Are you sure you don't want anything to eat, Andy? I'm fine, Bob.
It's so great. He's just so cool. And, like, Joanne still looks really happy to see him, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because, if I acted like that in front of, like, any date, they'd just be like, fuck you, you're a downer, and just leave.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I've probably done that anyway. I've probably done that before by accident.
Andy's zombie brain and the inside is just probably like, the pussy game's ridiculous.
He's like an autistic guy that's also frozen.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's very strange. But they're at the dinner, and this is when the father comes. He
finally comes home all drunk.
Yeah.
Again.
And then the wife is like, "You're drinking. Why are you drunk?" And he's like, "You know why I'm drunk." Yeah. And it's like, "Oh yeah, well duh." And then he's like, "Where's Andy?" And then I talked to the police, and she's like, "You mother, you fucker, you talked to the police. Oh my God." Starts crying, and he's like, "I did it to lead him off the trail. I did it to lead him off the trail of Andy." And she's like, "Oh,
God,
I love you."
Where do you go? They went dancing. Lying bitch.
Yeah.
And so while he goes off in that direction,
he gets a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the wife is like, she's crazy now too. She's trying to defend Andy more than he is, obviously, and so Andy's dad grabs a revolver and basically goes on a hunt for Andy now.
Oh, daddy.
And this is when the final scene really occurs.
Yeah,
here.
he goes off that way, and Meg and Bob go off to do something. I forget.
Well, no, okay, I'll tell you. So, but so then it cuts from the father getting the gun and going after Andy to Andy sitting in the back of their car, at the
with Joanne.
Yeah, and then Andy's sister and her boyfriend
Bob,
who are in the front seats.
They leave for some reason.
No, they went to go get food.
More food, like popcorn.
Yeah, because Andy's sister says, "I have to get popcorn. I'm neurotic if I don't have popcorn when I'm watching a movie." And he's like, "What a story, Mark." No, he looks at her and is like, "Fine, you weird bitch." And he's like, "Andy, are you sure you don't want anything?" And he's like, "I'm fine. I'll just be here with Joanne, Bob." Yeah, and then and he's like, "Don't you do anything when we're gone,
Don't do anything we wouldn't do."
Yeah, sex. So they leave, and then Joanne's alone with Andy,
And Joanne's just like, "I really missed you," and Andy's just like, "Bitch, please."
So did I. I really don't know what they say.
I missed me too.
It's just weird confrontation.
And as she's talking about shit like, "I want to get back with you," and and
like
stuff
before
like that.
you left.
And all of a sudden,
yeah,
let's pick up where we left off. That's what she said. And all of a sudden, just this little.
Yeah, it's like out of his forehead.
Thing oozes right at the top of his hairline.
He just starts bleeding from the forehead.
And she just goes,
like a corpse.
"What?" And he just goes, looks at her, like, touches it with his glove, and then takes off his sunglasses, and you just see it's even worse. Like,
yeah, his eyes.
Meth is ridiculous.
Yeah, he looks meth out. He looks like a version of like Michael Jackson's werewolf in Thriller.
Yeah,
mixed with like cracked out like meth head.
Like shaved werewolf.
Yeah, meth head zombie. I don't know how to explain it.
And he attacks Joanne.
Basically, and it looks like from the outside that they're making out
hardcore,
but really he's like murdering her. He's biting her neck, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
He's giving her a hickey. It's okay.
Basically. So they get back in the car, Andy's sister and Meg and Bob. And they're just like, "You two, doing all right back there?" And then it just has Andy just like basically pressing this dead woman now down. And it just kind of looks like he's laying on her. And it's kind of weird. And
they're like, "We aren't interrupting anything, are we, Andy?"
And then they're like, "What the fuck? Why aren't you moving? Why is no one moving in this?" And then as they both look back, Andy springs up, face covered in blood.
And his face looks great.
Oh, yeah. He
looks
looks
great in the bad way.
Yeah, this is where, like, if it was cheesy before, the makeup effects in this is pretty cool. He looks pretty spooky.
Yeah, man.
He's a monster, definitely.
This was actually the premiere film for legendary makeup effects artist Tom Savini.
Cool.
If you know anything about makeup.
No, but that's why you're here.
I learned about him through Face Off, and he's done quite a number of things, like the original film Maniac, and
Kaylee might know what you're talking about.
Kaylee? Oh, yeah. Cool. That's
probably our super fan.
Yeah, she might. That's probably why she listens to our things, not because her mom works with you.
No, that's not why.
Or we're just cool guys.
I think it's because I post it to Facebook.
And she's just like, oh, and it's about horror movies. Sweet.
I don't know why. Well, why would you listen to it, honestly?
I would listen to it for the horror movies. And also, we're pretty funny.
Yeah.
I think.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're thinking. But where's the sex appeal? You say horror movies, I say supermodels. You say podcasts, I say supermodels. Where's the butts? Where's the cleavage?
I'll make my own podcast
with
blackjack and hookers.
With butts and cleavage. You know what? Forget the butts. I don't know.
And the podcast.
Forget the cleavage.
But Tom Savini is actually like a pretty good makeup effects thing. I don't have a list of shit that he's done other than like Maniac and that. But he's been in a few films like From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
Other things. He's pretty wicked.
So anyway.
But this was his first breakout effects thing. And it's well deserved. That zombie Andy looks great.
Yeah. So Andy, after they realize, oh my god, he killed Joanne.
He attacks Meg.
Yeah, Andy snaps and starts strangling. It just goes after his sister, but they both
just fucked.
Yeah, but she manages.
Because what about Bob?
Yeah, she slips out of the car, and then he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go after Bob," because Bob's still kind of in the car. Manages to grab Bob when they're both out of the car, and his sister's just watching her brother, zombie brother, kill her boyfriend. And it's like, oh shit. And she does nothing. She just stands there and watches Andy do it.
Yeah.
Just like the dog, which I thought was awesome. I was like, yeah, just let him do it. And something about that's really horrifying. Just like being able to do something but not doing anything.
Yeah.
You know? Like
that's how a lot of the movies from the 70s and 80s were.
It's like
horror.
It's like nightmares where like you run but you can't get away. You know?
Yeah.
So he kills Bob and everyone's like, oh fuck. And Andy just gets in the car and just starts driving off. Hits this guy because there's a
runs him over perfectly
because there's a crowd people because there's like, oh my god, you just killed that guy, whatever. But yeah, runs over this one guy while Andy's trying to escape, fucking like backs up, runs over him again, and just starts hauling ass down the street.
Yeah. And a lot of those movies back then look great when they run over somebody because it actually looks like they ran a motherfucker over.
I'm almost positive they didn't say no humans were harmed in the making of this movie. I think they just ran over a guy and they like decided to keep it in.
They're just like, whatever, he lived. He
like,
walked it off.
It's like The Crow.
Oh.
He died, but they kept all of it in.
He makes it back to his house too, and his mom, like, even though he looks like fucking hell in a handbasket, she's just like, Andy, what's wrong with you? And he's just like not talking at this point. He's a fucking bloody mess.
Yeah. But she's like, they're after you, Andy. I have to protect you.
I need to take you up to your room and put you in your nice rocking chair.
Yeah.
And his dad comes upstairs with the gun, and it's just like, get up, Andy. Face me like a man. And Andy's just like, stands up, turns around, and he's just like...
Yeah, fucking horrifying looking. And his dad's like, oh, shit.
And... He runs out of the house with his mom, gets in the car, drives off, and while they're leaving, his dad shoots himself.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, he just like, my God, I pointed a gun at my son. My son's a monster. My wife is crazy, helping him. And yeah, as they're going downstairs, you just hear a gunshot.
And they just stop for a moment, and then they continue.
Yeah, so Dad's dead now, Dad's dead. Judd's a dud, baby.
Dad done died.
Dad done gone. Dad done diddly done but done down day. Yeah. But done diddly done but done down yeah.
Is he Dad dimma dead?
Dad dimma Dad duggadome. Under the dad dimma. I'm dead. Fuck it, whatever. So now the police start.
Mom's driving the car. Andy's in the back, just being half dead.
It's hilarious. It's like driving Miss Zombie. So fucking cars are tailing him, And you mentioned it looked a lot like the Blues Brothers car police scene.
Hell yeah.
But that movie was the same era. So
needs more cops.
Yeah,
definitely.
I was like, they're gonna go through a mall, but no. But yeah, they're getting chased by cops. They end up at the.
Mom's like, "Where should we go, Andy?" And Andy's just like pointing all over the place.
Yeah.
And they make it to the graveyard.
Yeah, that cemetery Andy was at earlier.
Andy's like limping along, and the mom's just like, "What are we doing here, Andy?" And he pulls up that same tombstone, and on the tombstone it says, "Here lies Andy Burkus," or whatever their last name is in the movie.
You know, 19...
And she's just like, no. And he's like put 1944 whatever to, or 1960 whatever, whenever he was born to 1972.
Yeah.
His death day, and he just falls over into the grave and starts piling dirt on himself.
Yeah, he starts like shittily burying himself. And
well, he didn't bring a shovel, Cody.
Yeah. Oh wait, you know what we missed, but I totally forgot about?
Shit.
Before he gets in the car to escape from the police are already there, and they shoot him a few times.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, so when his mom is, like, getting in the car, you know, he's like, "Get in, Andy, get in." Like, Andy's just standing there, and the cops just, like, start firing into his chest, and he just, like, totally fucking absorbs it like a man.
Hell yeah.
And he gets in the car, too, and the cop runs over to the side of the car, puts his revolver into the window, shoots Andy right in the chest, and then Andy's just like, fuck off.
Just grabs him and they drag him along.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I forgot about that. But, you know.
So that's also why he's dying. On top of the terminal case of zombie-itis.
Now all the blood that's not really, there's no pressure, but it's just probably oozing out everywhere, right?
Oh, yes. He's a bloody mess.
He needs just blood and he's losing it.
He's the sponsorship for Tampax, I swear to God.
So he's burying himself. And his mother starts crying.
No.
Doesn't she start helping him? I think so. Yeah, she
a
starts,
little bit.
She starts like helping
him. And the cops show up and they're like, "Freeze!" But he's just like, And
then after,
and then finally just
like not even like halfway done covering his body, he just ends up actually dying.
He dies to death.
Yeah, he done diddly died to death.
He died of deathitis.
Died dimmadome. One of the Dugsdale Didadome.
And so we just zoom out with the cops all still pointing at his mom.
Yeah.
And then the movie ends.
And it's sad.
It is sad.
And weird. I don't know how I felt about it. You know? Other than the fact that it was really winded. Like, only a few things really happened. Everything else was just kind of like exposition. And not even really interesting.
This isn't even like a full hour and a half. It's 88 minutes.
Yeah. Which is good. That's
good.
An
hour and 28.
That's good. It really does feel like a long episode of a TV show.
Yep.
A good one, though. Albeit a good one. Oh, so, man. I don't know, Derek. What's your favorite scene and least favorite scene?
Well, my least favorite scene would probably be that laughter that the family has.
Yeah.
The ha 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 ha.
It's just too shitty. It's not like creepy enough to be worthy of anything.
It's not creepy. It's not funny. It's just charming.
It's not bad. It's not bad enough to be like hilariously awkward. It's just shitty.
It's one step above Tommy Was So Bad, where it would be laughably bad.
Exactly. That is my least favorite scene as well. What is your favorite scene?
I actually have a few favorite scenes.
We'll just say both of them. Why not?
Well, the one of mine, I have 3. Yeah. Choking the dog.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite scene, dude. That dog murder scene is freaking crazy.
That's hardcore.
It's so crazy.
When he kills the doctor.
Okay, yeah. Well, okay, yeah.
I like it a bit because the lead up to it has both of their faces in the shadow. It's a cool build up.
This setting is cool, yeah.
And everything. Cool kind of release. Cool shot on him getting like blood across, like giving him the Joker smile.
Oh yeah.
From The Dark Knight.
But what's number 3?
And then number 3, which is probably my favorite one because I've not seen it in other things.
Yeah. Him
burying himself at the end. Because that was him like accepting that he's gonna die. Like he's not gonna be able to keep up this charade of taking people's blood.
No, I feel like I've seen that in another movie before.
It feels familiar, but I know for sure I've not seen it in other things.
I don't know. I can't really.
I've seen people bury other people, but I've never seen a dude just like go fuck it and start covering himself in dirt. I'm an earthworm.
I'm an earthworm. I give up. I'm killing myself. I'm burying myself.
They call me Earthworm Andy.
Oh, Andy. But yeah, I don't know. So Derek, out of spooks, Have you thought about this yet? What you want to rate this movie?
I was thinking about it when we first watched this.
All right.
And then when we didn't record after the movie, I was just like, oh shit.
Oh my.
This gives me time to think.
Okay.
And then I didn't think.
Well, out of Spooks, what do you give this movie out of a possible 10?
6.
6 out of 10 Spooks?
Yes.
I also give it a 6 out of 10 Spooks.
Ooh.
We're
getting good at this.
I would give it a 7.
But it's not as good as, like,
nah.
Dead Silence and other things.
Yeah, it's just a little boring, but it's not long.
Yeah.
It's not long.
It doesn't outlive its welcome.
Yeah, no, it's worthy of its length. That's what I should say. Fucking Frankenstein vs. the Mummy, though. I mean, maybe that's why it felt shorter. It's just because that movie was like 9.5 hours. You know? It's like Lord of the Rings trilogy, you know. I don't know. It just took forever.
Shit. But
that's my final thoughts. Honestly, this movie's short and sweet. That's it.
Like I would say,
I'd watch it
with the 6 out of 10. The reason behind that is, like, it's almost dated.
Yeah, it is a little.
But it's got enough cool shots and ideas to make me go, well, this is definitely worth a watch. Dude, if you're into older movies.
I say 100% give this a watch, no matter what, because it has enough in there for you to laugh at it.
Yeah.
And it has enough in there for you to take some stuff seriously and actually, like, kind of think about stuff.
But I can't call it, like, a good movie.
No.
Like, a great movie. I can't call it a great movie. It's a good movie.
There's a lot to talk about with your friends while you're watching it. Yes. But as far as reviewing the movie goes, you just have to watch it. It's just kind of... It's short enough. Go for it, you know? That's all I gotta say.
I definitely would... like, back in the day, I used to be against the idea of remaking films.
Yeah.
Because a lot of remakes are kind of bad.
This would be a good movie to remake, actually.
Yeah. And I've thought about it. Like, even if you make a terrible remake, at least that makes people go back and go, well, then what was the original like?
Yeah.
So then they watch that and go, oh, this is actually
better.
This is good, if not better.
Give it a second chance. Give the good classic a second chance.
So, like, I would not, like, if you came to me and asked me to remake, like, a series of films, be like, I want you to remake Halloween, I'd say, no, fuck you.
Fuck that, no.
I'm glad Rob Zombie did it.
Yeah.
He made it unique.
It's different. Like that, I very much remember, like, the scene where he's, like, in the pool, like, when they kick him out that balcony and he's not in the pool.
Yeah.
The fight scene with him, he did a great job on the character.
The whole first half of that film, being in the sanitarium and everything, that was pretty cool.
It's so touching. It's like, you know, he's just like a gentle giant.
And then Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, I wouldn't remake because I don't have enough love for those two, because I'm more of a Michael guy.
Yeah.
And I have too much respect for Halloween to remake it.
You know what? Halloween, that remake was great, though.
Yeah.
That was a good remake.
I didn't like the second one, but the first one I would definitely own.
Exactly. Final thoughts on this movie, though?
Give it a watch. It's a cult classic for a reason.
Actually, Derek, you think it's a cult classic, but here on the box it says, a cult classic, don't miss it, from the Psychotronic Encyclopedia of Film. I don't think I'm going to trust the Psychotronic Encyclopedia.
That's. I thought you were just going to be an ass and be like, you may say it's a classic, but this says it's a classic.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's people that are like, they listen to, like, recordings of people eating macaroni, but just because someone says it's a cult classic, I wouldn't agree. But I mean, a lot of things, this might be a cult classic, actually. Because it's so like hardly known, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like games like video games like Earthbound were considered a cult classic, but I think, like, everyone knows about it. You know,
at this point.
Yeah. So I don't know when it changes, but a stunner, says the Village Voice. A potent and compelling thriller, says Kevin Thomas from LA Times. A potent thriller. So if you want to be pregnant, watch this movie because it's very potent and it's compelling.
You'll definitely want to fuck after that drive-in.
Oh my gosh. How erotic was Andy in that scene? I don't want popcorn. I'm fine.
I'm fine, Bob.
Sounds like an angry wife.
My other thought is...
Yeah.
And I told you about this when we were watching this. what was Andy like before he turned all zombie? Because he must have been about the same, because otherwise everybody would have been more...
Well, they were accepting him because they knew he was going to be different.
Even with the PTSD
yeah.
going on. Like, there's only a certain amount of it where people would be like...
Yeah, okay.
Because otherwise they'd have to explain it to everybody,
yeah.
like... before we continue with this,
but
just let me tell you, Joanne, he did just get back from war. He's got the shell shock.
We did talk about that. Like, yeah, we assume he's just boring. He must be.
He's got a stamp collection.
Yeah, he's the guy that collects stamps.
So, yeah.
But yeah.
Watch it.
I don't know. So, Derek, so next week we're going to review The Lazarus Effect.
Yay.
Which is a new movie, which is in theaters, and we might get some friends to go see it. Why not, you know?
And we should try and, even though it comes out on Friday, we should try and go find a Thursday evening showing if you've got Thursday off.
Oh, I do. For sure. We could do it. I just want to also apologize for the late upload on this. I've been busy. Derek, on the other hand, he's got his schedule in lockdown. He knows what he's doing all the time. But I'm retarded, and I never know what I'm doing. So... I'm always super flaky.
We forgive you.
I'm always late, too, to everything.
The audience forgives you.
Good. I mean, it's not like we're getting paid for this. It's not really too important, you know. It's important to me, Derek, but you know what I mean, right?
It's important to me, too, Bob.
Okay, Bob. So creepy. But next month, after The Lazarus Effect, what's our theme?
The new scary movie that's coming out next month is the new Paranormal Activity movie.
Oh, are we doing a found footage?
We should, because otherwise we'd be doing another ghost one.
Well, we could do another ghost movie. You know horror movies are all about ghosts.
I didn't put it on the calendar yet.
Wow. Guys, our calendar for next month is completely blank.
So I'll be making that up in the next few days.
Heck, actually, I'm going to put a poll on Facebook to see what people want to see. Because I've had a few suggestions from John and a few other guys.
A few found footage ones or just scary movies in general?
Dakota Marsh recommended a found footage film, actually.
Ooh. I own one found footage film, so I think we ought to do that one at least.
Blair Witch?
No.
No?
It's called Mockingbird. It's by the same guy who did The Strangers, which I was a real big fan of. Well...
With that, I guess that concludes this week's episode. Technically, we're going to have 2 episodes this week.
Yep.
So tune in, stay tuned very briefly for the next episode where we review The Lazarus Effect. And with that, we'll see you guys next week.
Whether you like it or not.
Bye, everybody.